Hi everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you how to decorate your cake to make a very simple and cute little Valentine's Day cake. Now, as always, before we get started, if you need any tools or supplies, check out the description below and you should be able to find anything that I use that you may need. So I started with the lemon cake that I made. I was just making this for myself for the fun. I just figured I'd share it with you guys. I made my cake, like I said, I let it chill in the fridge. And now I'm just piping some green icing using a little round tip. And I'm making kind of zigzaggy lines, some tall, some short, with little, really short ones in between. So it goes tall, really short, medium, short, really short, tall, really short. So yeah, just make a pattern. That's all I did. Just made a pattern around it. I'm going to show you how to make hearts. I have a heart cutout that I'm going to do with some, and I'm going to show you how to make hearts out of using just circles if you don't have heart cutouts. So stay tuned and find out what happens next. As you can see, I used red for my heart cutouts, and I'm using the back of my paintbrush right there to make little indentations, just kind of making a little V on each heart. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of water into each hole, and now I have some very pretty pink beads. And I'm putting a bead into each hole. And I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun to do this because it reminded me of when I was a kid back in the 80s. So now you know how old I am. And we used to have those games like little watches and things that you would get as a gift from birthday parties that the bead would roll around and you'd have to get it into the hole and you'd have to match them all up without letting the others fall out. It so reminded me of that. And I hadn't thought of it for a long time. So now I made you think of it too. I also made some pink ones, as you saw, and did the same with some shiny, shimmery pink beads. And now I'm going to show you how to make hearts out of circles, okay? I made a bunch of circles in hot pink. I'm going to put all my little ducks in a row here so that they're not in the way of each other because I'm going to start trimming. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut a little V wedge so each one has a point right on the bottom. And already I'm pretty sure you're smart enough to see where we're going with this, right? That's going to become the bottom of the heart. And it's going to be very simple, very fabulous. So if you don't have heart cutouts, there's really no reason to go buy them. If you already have them, then, makes your world easier. So use them if you got them. If you don't, it's not an issue. And it doesn't take long to do either. So I went down my whole row, trimmed off little points. I turned them upside down, and now matching the little point on the bottom, I'm just trimming out a little triangle from the top. You see? Just nip it, nip it, nip it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Of course, it's always great when it is. But realistically, it's not going to be unless you're like friggin' amazing, which I'm not. But in order to round off the edges, I just pat with the edge of my blade. And you can see it kind of gets both of those little points at the same time. And you might have to tweak it like on the sides a little bit, or maybe one might need a little cleaning up. And if it does, then you just do it. But right there, I made 10 hearts. And even without the editing, it probably took like 2 or 3 minutes. Like it wasn't a long time at all. Now you saw me stick red beads in those hearts and we're going to stick them on the cake. The tall squiggly lines are going to get the big hearts and I put them at the top so that they overlap. They stick above a little bit. My little short ones are getting the short little tiny hot pink hearts. And I just went back and forth, red, pink, all around the cake until I realized that my spacing was off. And yes, right there, 2 pinks in the same spot. And I am shamed. Don't worry, guys. I'm properly shamed. I'm using my leaf creating tip there. And I'm just piping some green. I'm putting a leaf on each of the edges and 2 up near the top. Just because I figured it might make it look a little better. I don't know if it does or not, honestly, but it certainly doesn't hurt. I tried putting some sprinkles on top of the cake, but as you saw, they rolled right off because I was stupid and put it in the fridge. So the icing was all hard. So now I had to go and individually poke a bunch of little beads all on the top. You don't have to do this or do it. Use sprinkles. I don't care. It's just, it makes it look a little more colorful, a little more cute. I put a few random ones on the sides. I hid that little piece of crumb that showed through my icing. Darn it. Right there. So now it's perfect. And yeah, just decorate it however you want. And you'll end up with a very cute, very simple, like I said, little Valentine's Day cake. So thank you for checking this video out. Please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot if you do. Check out my other videos. I got a whole buttload of them. That is an official term and reference for measurement. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching Caketastic Cakes.